I'm calling about a past due balance on your accounts. Episode 2. Please stop asking me about my blood. I work for a special collections agency and I don't think our customers are human. My company provides me with cool scripts and notes for each of our unique customers. I'm sharing those pretty much exactly as I receive them. Thanks so much for letting me share info about my new job with you. A few of you asked for updates, so I figured I'd let you know how my second week has been going so far. I learned that my boss and I are the only ones that work the day shift. It's interesting, but it sounds like I am one of the few non-nocturnal employees. My boss seems to work the night shifts too. Actually, I've never seen him leave. Those of you that asked about hiring, yes, we could use some more day shift staff, but they said no remote work at this point for our safety, since there are tools that we may need that are only available at the office. If you're interested, are located in Northern Ohio, have never promised your soul to anyone, human or otherwise, in a legal binding contract, have at least 3 years customer service experience, and are proficient in MS Office, let me know. Anyways, so I had a few normal calls, like a nice man whom I helped save money on his yearly storage costs. Hello Sean, my name is, insert your first name, with the Green Vista Group. I am calling to collect the annual $20,000 fee of storing the bones of your initial human form covered with soil from your ancestral home in a fireproofed coffin of pure silver in our climate-controlled and protected facility overseas. Note: please let customer know we now offer on-site storage in our Ohio facility for only $5,000 yearly. No transfer fee would be assessed. The only change would be the facility location. Everything else in terms of tomb material, soil, and protection would remain the same. So I don't want to bore you with too many of those. I'm starting to talk to customers through other means of contact though, which has been interesting. I had one that was a scheduled Microsoft Teams call. Hello, sir. Name unpronounceable by human vocal cords. Use sir. My name is, insert your first name, with the Green Vista Group. Thank you for agreeing to meet with me. I am calling today to let you know that we are formally ending our business relationship and you must destroy the goods provided today. You have violated the following terms of your agreement. 1. Do not assimilate, consume, or otherwise harm humans or endangered beings of this realm. 2. Remain inconspicuous. Please remove and destroy the GVG provided talisman during our call so I can visually confirm its destruction. If you are unwilling to destroy this item during our call, our staff would be happy to visit your location to assist. Note: wear included amulet during call. If customer does not remove and destroy their own amulet, let supervisor know and we will deploy staff to do so for them. Do not, under any circumstances, let customer learn you are human. If asked any personal questions about yourself or realm of origin, please answer with, I am not legally allowed to disclose personal information. Do not react to customer's appearance when they remove amulets. He seemed to be in his early 40s and was wearing an amulet that resembled the one I had been given in my file. He was surprisingly good-natured when I told him he'd need to destroy it. He did grumble about it a little, saying, there are billions of them. Who the hell cares if a few hundred go missing? He winked. Oh well, a bit stringy for my tastes anyway. I nodded along, trying to remain emotionless while he slipped the amulet up and over his head. The moment he took it off, his whole appearance changed. It was extremely difficult not to let any reaction show. My eyes may have widened a bit, but overall, I think I did okay. He was now some sort of thin, multi-limbed thing, like if someone designed a human, stretched out the limbs, bent them awkwardly, and added a whole lot more of them. Even his fingers were long and thin. You could see veins under his pale skin, like he was something that was designed to dwell in the darkness. He leaned down, since his torso had grown a good foot or two, so he could stare at the camera. Something dark stained the corner of his mouth. He crushed the amulet with one of his many hands. It was hard to tell due to the lack of eyes or eyelids, but I got the vague sense that he winked at me again as he smiled. His smile had far too many teeth that all ended in a fine point. "Thanks, bye," I managed to say. I needed to scream a bit after I hung up. Just a little. I also dealt with someone super rude. Here was their file. My boss wrote out the pronunciation of the name for me. "Hello, Ishka Askafer Yethinya. My name is," insert your first name, "with the Green Vista Group. I am calling today because you are in violation of the terms of our agreement. The gates will be closed until further notice. Those of you that remain on this side will be guided back by our staff. To resume our business relationship, you must cease and desist trying to erase existence on this side of the gate. Note: customer may be difficult due to the sudden cut-off of services provided. If customer becomes belligerent, threatens you, or you feel any abnormal bodily pain, hang up the phone immediately. Grab supervisor." I had made it as far as, "Hello, my name is Michaela with the Green Vista Group. I am calling," when they boomed at me. "What right do you have, worthless being?" When I say they, I mean it literally sounded like many voices in one, all of them dripping with venom. "We were given no warning before you closed our gates." "I'm sorry, sir," I whispered meekly. The intensity and multitude of voices took me by surprise. This was more intense than any angry customer I had dealt with before. At this point, I also wasn't sure if the voices were coming from the phone or inside my head directly, which didn't help. "Sir, we are many, beyond the comprehension of your meaningless existence, insolent one. Our brethren will re-enter this world. They will bore and then flow forth from your eyes like twin waterfalls as you pray for your end." At this point, I felt what I can only describe as pins and needles sensations behind my eyes. "Your torment will be second only to the knowledge that your husk will be the portal leading to the consumption of your world." I hung up, per the notes, and immediately felt better. I let my supervisor know. He snatched the file and slammed his office door so hard the glass pane in the door rattled. I could hear him as he shouted for about 20 minutes, mostly muffled, but I did make out, "Don't you dare threaten my employees." And then, "Don't make me come over there. Unlike yourself, I don't need a gate." I hope to never get on his bad side. Oh, and I finally met another co-worker. His name is Pujam, and he works the night shift. He looks to be around my age, and he's a super cool guy. He wears these thick aviator glasses and his long dark hair in a ponytail. My computer has started acting up, and he tried to walk me through fixing it over the phone first, but we didn't get too far. He did eventually have to come in and take a look. I asked him if my computer woes had anything to do with a difficult customer, and he just laughed and said, "No, nothing supernatural. The hardware finally gave out." He decided to stick around instead of going home for 2 hours and coming back. He does tech support, and I sat with him in his office as we set up my new computer. He even gave me extra RAM because I like to have a bunch of tabs open at once. Like I said, he's a cool guy. His job seems interesting too. At one point, he had to tell a customer that they may have fallen for a phishing scam and her account had been locked because it had been compromised. "No, ma'am, the Green Vista Group will never ask you for your username, password, or your one true name. I'm going to unlock your account and reset your password. I recommend that you change your passwords on other sites as well. I'd also recommend that you avoid places of the light for a few days. I had another interesting customer for my last call yesterday, and instead of a phone number or video call, the file had unique instructions. I am not including the symbols here because I feel like that's a bad idea. Hello Jon, my name is, insert your first name, with the Green Vista Group. I am calling today to follow up on your payment plan. Today, your final payment is due, and upon completion, your account will be paid in full. Note: to initiate call, write the following symbols on your office mirror in honey. If office pantry is out of honey, you may use agave nectar, but the connection will not be as strong. Cover mirror with provided cloth. Do not let customers see you. To end call, splash vinegar on mirror. Do not talk to customer any longer than needed. Do not answer personal questions. Do not let customers see your office. Do not let customer see your face. The first time I accidentally contacted the wrong person, and they seemed a bit too interested in me and asked me some weird, lengthy questions about my blood. After I scrubbed the vinegar-soaked honey off, I did it right the second time, and I was proud of myself for making the call connect. I know I was just following directions, but it felt really cool. The customer was friendly and polite. He handed me an ice-cold, velvety satchel through the mirror, and I moved the cloth aside to receive it. As I prepared to disconnect, I realized I had shifted the cloth some, and I could see an eye staring at me. I was in awe. His sclera was completely black, his iris was a bright white, and his pupils were black. It was fascinating, and I couldn't help but stare for a moment. In that short time, he started rapid fire asking me all sorts of questions, like small talk mixed in with questions about me personally, all the while his one visible eye quickly scanning around my office. I didn't answer, of course, but instead splashed the vinegar on the mirror, and then he was gone. I gently rapped my knuckles on the door frame and then stuck my head in Jam's office. "Hey," I whispered. "Got a sec?" I tried to ask him as casually as possible what happened if the guy in the mirror saw the inside of my office. His eyes widened and he strode past me quickly into my office. He took a pen from behind his ear, traced around the mirror, and then hastily grabbed it off the wall and drew an X to fill the outline of where it had been. He had brought some black salt and sprinkled it around the interior of my office. "Okay, you should be all set. Ask the boss for a new one tomorrow. Don't hang it in the same spot. Nothing reflective in that spot ever again, okay?" I must have looked defeated because he patted me on the shoulder and smiled. "No worries, it happens. You learn as you go. I'm taking this one to the incinerator in the sub-basement." So that's how I learned that we have an incinerator and a sub-basement. After the mirror incident, they adjusted my schedule to start an hour later and Jam comes in an hour earlier, so we have more overlap each day. I feel guilty, but he said he doesn't mind, and it's nice to have a third person in our office during the day. My boss has been quieter and more preoccupied since the angry customer threatened to use my eye sockets as a gateway to our annihilation. I get the feeling they are starting to have more customers violate rules lately too. There's a lot to learn still. I think I'm their first employee that isn't already familiar with these sorts of things, so I appreciate them taking time to teach me. I just hope I can learn fast enough that they won't regret promoting me. I'm looking forward to next week and learning more. It sounds like I might get to do some team building with the night shift team soon too, which would be nice. Oh, and one last thing. So, last night this weird damp spot started forming where the mirror had been. It had been raining all day, so I thought maybe water damage was just a way of life in this building and just dabbed at it with a paper towel before I left. This morning though, I noticed that a silvery ooze, have you ever seen liquid mercury? It looks like that, had formed overnight and was dripping down that spot of the wall. It's sort of reflective, which is concerning, and for a moment, I thought I saw fingertips reaching out of it. Anyways, thanks for letting me share with you. I just want to thank JamFranz for allowing me to narrate that story. That is the second episode of this series, so if you enjoyed it, make sure you stick around for the rest. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, and as always, stay tuned for one more nightmare.